Hello, everyone, and thank you for finding time to join us at this hour. It's my pleasure to welcome you, no matter where you're joining us from. It's going to be a great time together, and we are hoping that by the time we are done, you'll find the inspiration you need to be able to give your children the best education possible and at the cost you can afford. The good things in life don't always cost a lot of money. Most of the time, the reason why people suffer is because they don't have information. And the reason why people don't have information is probably because we don't have the right people in the right places who can provide that information. So what we want to do this evening as a contribution to the development of Nigeria and the rest of Africa is to provide you as a parent or as a young person that information so that you can get the education you need to be able to make a difference in your life, improve the quality of life you're currently experiencing. And of course, be in a position to enhance the quality of life available to your own parents and to every other person in your family. And by extension, help the country you come from to get better. We have enormous challenges in Africa. Electricity remains something that most of us don't have good quality access to. Africa is sometimes described as the dark continent. So it's not just the black continent, dark continent in terms of not having good quality electricity. If you travel like a lot, like some of us do, you discover that most African countries they are flying into in the night. Their airports are not adequately lit, and that's a very shameful thing. In the year 2024, what you find is that the electricity that is consumed by Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook combined, just three companies in the US, is much more than the electricity that is consumed by the entire population of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country of over 220 million people, but the electricity consumed by Microsoft, Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook is 2,500 times what Nigerians have access to. That tells you how terrible our circumstances is. We're not in a pretty place. Even to start scratching development efforts, we need at least 200,000 megawatts. Nigeria is still struggling to stabilize at the level of 5,000 megawatts. So we are in a very shameful situation, and that's not good for us. And most of those challenges are traceable to poor quality education our universities are providing. We are not producing the type of engineers that can convert even the excellent sun that we have in Africa, being a tropical region, into the production of power that can empower the entire continent and make us become very relevant. Africa accounts for close to 15% of the world's population, with 1.4 billion people living on the continent as we speak. But Africa doesn't even command up to 3% of the world's wealth. So that is not something that we can continue to tolerate. And it can get worse because, as some people have said, if you are not moving forward and probably you're standing still, you're actually not standing still, you're moving backward because other people are accelerating. And that makes it very dangerous for us to remain where we are. So this hour, we're going to interact with some young Nigerians in diaspora in the UK and in the US. And of course, some of us are joining from Nigeria. And what we want to look at is how we can understand the global space, especially with respect to opportunities available to empower our children, especially for parents who are lucky to have very bright children, but who don't seem to have good quality access to the best universities around the world. Those things are possible. We have done it over and over, and we want to see how we can intervene to empower as many people as possible. And so if you're just joining us and you haven't met me before, I'd like to confirm that I'm Dr. Peter Gudoro. I lead the Nigerian teachers community. That community today has about 700,000 members. And that's in addition to several other digital assets that we have, where people get good quality information that enable them to do better teaching and get involved in the conversation that will enable us to provide better quality education to our children across all levels of the education spectrum. And so welcome to this conversation. It's meant to provide you career management information. By the way, I am a member of the International Association of College Admission, Counseling, operating from the United States of America. And I do hold a PhD in education with emphasis on career management. I studied in England and I've had opportunity to do research and fellowships across the world in diverse countries, Sweden, Austria, Norway, Finland, etc. And the knowledge I've gathered from these places I'm using to try to do the kind of thing where you are hearing us talk about. So this evening, we are trying to provide information on RASP. RASP stands for Rising African Scholars Program. It's a program we have designed with our international partners from around the world to empower children who are currently in secondary school, especially at the level of senior secondary school 2 and senior secondary school 3. And we are hoping that the people who benefit from it will be able to start their university education in the UK or in the US by fall of that's August, September of 2025. That's next year. And so we are trying to use this platform at this hour to enlighten parents as to what it takes for them to be able to give their children good quality access, because the education we are providing in most African universities at the moment is not the kind of education you probably want to rely on to make your children globally competitive. And if you can afford it, most of the time it's out of you are paying much more than you should pay, because if you have the right information, you probably can get it much cheaper. And that's what you're going to go with, with this evening. So by the time we are done, you know what you can do with that, a smart child who is doing well in physics, in mathematics, in chemistry, in accounting, and in English language. And of course, what other things go into the equation that enables young people to have good quality access to higher education in the places where higher education is truly meaningful, where people go through school and school also goes through them. They are not merely chasing diplomas, academic credentials. They also are learning in the true sense of the word, and they're acquiring the skills, the knowledge, and the values that enable them to compete at a global stage and not, look like people who are second-class global citizens. So that's what we're about doing, and we will provide all the details as we move along. So in the course of that program, starting August 5 and ending August 31, we're bringing resource persons, good quality faculty from around the world, including the United Kingdom, to come and work with children in Africa. This first edition is starting in Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria is hosting it. So if you're lucky to have your child selected, your child will have amazing experience working with international faculty and getting good career advice, and then start the application process before we are done with the program. And of course, those who haven't written their SAT, ACT, TOA, TOEFL, and IELTS, they will be able to do all of that, especially in terms of getting the knowledge, skills, and right values they need to be able to ace those international exams and get the credentials they need to add to their probably leadership record and, of course, community service record to be able to make excellent applications to get accepted into the best universities around the world. Some of the people who are here in this room at this hour are people who have benefited from this kind of opportunity. And very shortly, I'll be giving some of them opportunity to share with us how they were able to get into the UK, get into the US at a very young age. And what is UK education like? What does it look like? What does US education look like? And we have Dr. Benga Akintola, who has joined us from the United Kingdom. It's not long he moved from Nigeria to the United Kingdom. He used to teach at Olabisi Onabanjo University at Gateway. And we probably will start from him. Dr. Akintola, if you mute yourself, can you share with us very briefly in 2-3 sentences what you think is the difference between the university education you are seeing in the UK where you teach now, where you are a lecturer now, compared to what you were seeing while you were lecturing at Olabisi Onabanjo University back home? Yeah, I know it's not just Olabisi Onabanjo, but it's a general thing with respect to universities in Nigeria. I know you also did your PhD at University of Benin. So you have seen some places in terms of what university looks like in Nigeria. You are now able to compare it to what you're seeing in the UK, in England, in Scotland, especially the two parts of the UK that you have become very familiar with. What do you think is the difference? And what if you have the opportunity, would you send your children back to Nigeria for their higher education?
Good evening. Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening. Thanks so much, sir. It's a pleasure being here. From that question, of course, I'm very sure if I should put that question to you, sir, as a mentor, you advise me not to try that because it could be suicidal. So definitely, I wouldn't even dare such. Having taught in Nigeria for almost 20 years, when I mean 20 years now, across different levels of educational system. I've taught in primary school, I've been a secondary school teacher, I've been a primary school and a secondary school principal. I've taught in post-secondary level, I've taught in university in Nigeria before I left. We put it together and that's amount to almost 20 years. But professionally, I've taught university for solid 10 years straight. So, and I've been involved in different other aspects of educational system in Nigeria apart from teaching. I've been an external examiner to NECO. I've been an external examiner to JUPEB. So at that level, to an extent, I've been involved in curriculum reviews and what have you, even at university level. I can say categorically that the educational system are two worlds apart. I'll just use this one scenario. Presently in the UK, the education curriculum in UK, from at least let me pick it from the university level. I stand to be corrected. It might take us decades to get to that level in Nigeria. Let me just give you one scenario. Years before now, like some couple of years before now, even at primary school level, and that is just becoming anything in Nigeria now. And UK has left that level for long. So we are now looking at how AI can be used to ensure that students learn better. So what I'm saying in essence is that the educational level in advanced country, US, Canada, UK, is far ahead. And except if, as a parent, we only want our children to operate in Nigeria. I see our parents as global citizens. They should be able to operate in any part of the world. But for them to do that, they need competitive skills. Presently, there are a lot of administrative bottlenecks that might not give them to experience that kind of learning experiences in Nigeria. And that's the truth. By the grace of God, I teach in university in the UK presently, precisely in the Faculty of Business and Law. And the module we teach, at times I was like, excuse me, why are we not teaching all this in Nigeria? But there are a whole lot of things. So the advanced country determine what happens in the world. From policy making, from economic, and all these things are factored into the system. And the policies we even operate in Nigeria and some African nations comes from this. And have prepared their children already. Their children are battle ready with skill and competencies to fit into such economic system. But they introduce those policies to us, but the human forces, to implement those policies are not available in our country. So, of course, the result of the policies from us, because those that will implement it are not there, apart from the political will of the government. So what am I saying in essence is that it is very important as parents, if we want our children to be competitive, to be able to operate in any part of the world. Yes, Nigeria is our nation. We'll come back to make Nigeria work. But before then, let them acquire the civil capabilities outside the country. So even when they come back, because of the whole lot of Nigeria outside, if all of us are coming back, compared to those who are back home. Of course, the competition will be 2 years apart. So it's very important that we take our children out, let them have that experience so they can be relevant. It's
All
not
right. Thank you
after.
very much, Dr.
Can I
Kintola.
make this, sir? Let them just be. It's
Okay.
not after they have spent 4 5 years in the university because they couldn't get a job. You now ask them to go and learn skill, to go and learn tailoring, to go and learn hairdressing because the skill that was meant for something. I'm not saying those things are not good, but it's important they have competitive skills globally. Thank you, sir.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. So we go to, that's Dr. Benga Akintola, who joined us from the UK. We move over now to Illinois, that's in the United States of America. Folashade Olorinfemi, you will soon end your PhD in a US university. Can you take about 2-3 minutes to share the journey so far for you? Where are you coming from? What is that education? What does it look like? What difference does it make? Are you there?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. It's a good time to share my slide, if you allow me. I just put on all the pictures that show the journey from the moment I stepped out to where I am currently. I'm so excited to share the journey so far on the US with you all, and I'm happy that everyone that made it here today are intentional about ensuring that was have a better field of education more than what they have. So, you think you can share my slide now? Not yet. So before I'm being unable to share my slide, I know that sending children abroad, like the United States, can be a doubting decision for parents, especially when we come from a developed country with limited resources and opportunity. I tell you, opportunity like this should be honest, and we should seek every opportunity to get informed on how to do it. I want to assure you that this journey has been a life transforming one for me, and I believe it can also for everybody present here. Growing up in the country as fast, we're faced with numerous challenges that hinder the ability for the average Nigerian child, and even the Nigerian child who is the most talented to live their full potential. But having them studying in a country where you see my slide now?
Yes, it's coming up. Yeah, we can see it. My journey in the US.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. I really wanted this conversation to be as real as possible because, as I said, firsthand, I've experienced these and I'm still in the journey. So, learning the voice, I know what the power of storytelling can tell. So, my journey through the US. Okay. So about me, I'm a third-year PhD student in biological sciences at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and I'm in the molecular cell and developmental neurobiology program. And I did my undergraduate at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, then moved and had a master's degree in the University of Lagos, University of Oxford and Nation Pride. Then moved there to my current PhD, and my current PhD focused on lipid biology. I try to understand the intricacies behind obesity. Why would someone consuming the same food as their sibling become fat while the other person is slim, and possible to overcome this pandemic that's a big problem in the US system through development of therapeutics that can help us overcome to see them. So this is like a summary of the schools I've been through. First part started my journey in further polytechnic of this science laboratory technology, moved to a direct entry to Ladoke University, studied biochemistry. I went to my diploma in education, then obtained a master's degree in chemistry, and currently now I'm a PhD candidate in University of Illinois, Chicago. wasn't sure of the background of the people that were going to join us today, so I'd love to try in telling a bit about where I'm from. My name is Fola Shade, which means wealth and dignity are bestowed upon her, from Kogi State, Nigeria, the Continental State. And shortly, my arrival in the US started. I married to the love of my life, May 1, 2021. And 2 months after my marriage, I have an admission, and this was the third day I left the US, Nigeria, that's Mohammed Airport, with my family. My family wanted to say hello here. My father, that's my husband, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, my mom, and the journey began. So first challenges of trying to find my food, just like any other thing in life, then winning comes from struggle. So it started from finding housing, but in the US, we have a community of Nigerians that are very loving, and some non-Nigerians that are able to help, at least for the first month of navigating the US system. So housing was not really a problem. I got the welcoming host. And navigating the US whole life was another challenge for me, because just as Dr. Olubenga mentioned, it's 2 words apart, like in the Nigerian system, to get an A, just take 70 A. But in the US, for you to make an A, you have to get an IB, and that's a thing, you know. So there was need for me to adjust properly into the US system in order to maintain the stand as academic excellence, which have been the story to the journey. So starting the challenges and triumph, I left the US. Since I just got married for living in the US, there was struggles. I was pregnant at the time, about 5 weeks pregnant. I had to rotate labs, because in my school you have to rotate like 3 labs before you finally join the research lab. So here is one of the labs I rotated, this lab, where we use computational biology to study disease organisms, human. After that, audio of pregnancy went away. The son, which as the part of the journey, which is all inclusive. I wanted to be really all inclusive and to show that whatever point you're coming from, you're welcome in this country, and whatever stage of life you are in, it is not a problem. Actually, it's a strength to you. The book keeps growing just as we grow in the journey. Here is the first Independence Day, here's the first birthday, and currently a 2-year-old toddler. And the journey so far has been that of so much learning, just as Dr. mentioned when he was doing the introductory speech, that back in Nigeria, the education system just teaches all about grade, but being in the US has really shaping my mind in the sense that it teaches how a child can learn critical thinking ability and ability to give back to the society, rather than always thinking of what would the government do, what will I get from this? The system here is channeled towards, instead of you asking what do you want to get from the system, the first question you ask, which all of these lessons I myself picked from Dr. Gudoro, because I was privileged to work with him on a project before leaving, and also was privileged to be involved in teaching 2 of the children personally, which we are colleagues now, because one of them is a wartime physicist, and the other 2 is already a master's in the field, which is amazing. Yeah, got an award for Chancellor Leadership Award, which recognizes students not only showing diligence academically, but showing diligence in terms of their leadership skills, by their resourcefulness to the community and the school community and the community they live in at large. There was another award ceremony, another award for Diversity Inclusion Award, which shows students that are very inclusive in their thinking, students that are able to look beyond colors, look beyond race, and are able to foster a welcoming collegial environment in their workspace. And that was the award that I was receiving here. This was the talk for NIH doctoral fellowship, where I was given an opportunity to give feedback on workshop received. This was at a conference with my little thought. This was also at a conference. This was at a biotech conference. Slide basically just to show that study abroad is all encompassing. It teaches the child to be holistic in learning. The child is learning leadership skill. The child is learning how to pitch their ideas. Like this conference is all about pitching how to turn your science into enterprise that can turn into products and services, which is what is expected of every child abroad. You shouldn't just be focused on the grade, but you should be an all-round A student. The ongoing here is conference posters for the day in front of my lab. This was I'm a teaching assistant as well as a research assistant. This section after this is a section in cell biology after the section, and this is some of my students, some of them helping to train the next generations of medical and medical scientists for the US system. So to wrap it up, it's still a journey. I'm still in the journey. Here's my lab work, and here's my PI, Professor Ronald Dubell. Some of my lab, it's a it's one of my best milestones so far, becoming a PhD candidate, which shows that you are a candidate, and if you fulfill the requirement for a PhD award, you will soon become PhD. This is going to some of my classmates. This is some of the seminar talk. This is me advocating for diversity and inclusion, the US system, scientific field. This is me, PhD candidacy. This is a seminar presentation. I would not attend this without support of my darling husband and my adopted child. The journey is, I said, has been a beautiful, beautiful one. To sum it up, because I know I said 5 minutes, I said the word, I decided to quickly give some So one of them says the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page, meaning when parents restrict their children to one nation due to some beliefs, you are just limiting the child to one page of the book. Travel is the only way you can buy, is the only thing you can buy that makes you richer. I tell you, this is a fact, because traveling itself is education. The best education is the one that prepares you for the world, and the world is bigger than your hometown. We don't know who said that, but I believe that 100%. So quality education should be that is all encompassing, that teaches leadership, that teaches how to advocate, that teaches how the child can be enterprising, which you have seen in some of the slides. Another quote says, the best education is one that prepares you for the world. So sending your child abroad is not about abandoning them, but about giving them wings to fly. There's a very local adage that says, when you love a thing, you let it fly. Exactly, that is what leaving your child to study abroad can do to you. Then the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. Studying abroad can be the first step to that. I tell you, the possibilities are endless. The world needs more global citizens, and studying abroad is a great way to raise one. How do you make someone a global citizen? By giving the person a global stage for them to prove themselves, then come back to the nation to make adulting change in the nation. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, and studying abroad can be a powerful tool. That's overemphasized. Then the experience you have would shape your perspective, broaden your horizon, and stay with you a lifetime. That's what study abroad can do. And lastly, sending your child abroad is an investment in the future and in the future of our global community. This is very dear to my heart. If I know Dr. Kudero at all, all they advocate for is for us to carry a global set to build the global community we need to support. I hope not with this few quotes and with a few slides and run through my journey so far, possibly I've been able to minister one or two rocks. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Paula Shade, for joining us from the University of Illinois, Chicago, and for your brilliant inspiration. The inspiration we're drawing from you, those quotes, and sharing your experiences, and making it obvious that it is a possibility. And I know that, interestingly, you are studying with your university, picking up most of the bills that keeps you in the US. I'm not sure your parents are sending money from Nigeria. Are they sending money from Nigeria to you?
No, sir. I'm the one receiving the bills.
So Fola Shade is on a full ride. The university, she is studying for free. Her PhD is going to last for about 5 years. She's not paying a dime for it, and the university gives her a stipend every month. When we say stipend, what you call stipend is in today's given today's exchange rate. I don't want to mention it so that people don't start asking you to send them part of it, but it's a lot of money. The average Nigerian professor doesn't earn as much as Fola Shade is getting in terms of stipend to be able to take care of herself in the US. And so that money is coming from the people who are gracious enough to and generous enough to put money into her education. And that's, she's not alone. We go to Washington, we go to Connecticut now to speak to a Nigerian who recently completed his master's degree in Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., to also understand what it has been like, what has the journey been like. Marvelous. If you're in the house, can you join us and share what your experience has been like so far in about 2 minutes? Where are you coming from? What are you doing? How beneficial has the education in the US been? And if you have opportunity to choose between doing your undergraduate and probably a master's degree program in Nigeria, comparing that to the opportunity you've had in the US, which one would you vote for? Are you likely to have any regrets, leaving Nigeria at the time you did?
Hello everyone. My name is Marvelous. I just graduated from Georgetown University with a master's degree in business management. I'm very excited about that and to be done with school for a little bit as I go into the workforce now. I left Nigeria at 17, I think that was in 2019, and moved to the US to study in Michigan at a school called Hope College. I was really interested in studying abroad because I had seen people around me, especially my dad, go abroad to do his master's and PhD at some point. And I wanted to lean into that. I felt in high school in Nigeria, one of the things that I was really interested in was like having multidisciplinary education, being able to study different things all at the same time. And that isn't really available in the Nigerian education system. So it's a big reason why I was interested in moving abroad. I ended up being able to do that and have been able to do that over like my past 2 degrees. My undergraduate degree was in political science and philosophy. And I just finished studying business management as my master's, which just speaks to like the very like interdisciplinary nature of studies in the US. I think coming to America has been a great thing. I would 100% go again if I had the opportunity to like relive that experience. I think the exposure that you get, the big focus on internships, big focus on practical learning, and just like being a country that has produced some of like the world's best thinkers and leaders is something that I wanted to personally be around, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here and be able to study and now going into working in the United States. Very excited about that.
Okay, looking forward, is there anything you're moving on to, or are you going to be like the average Nigerian graduate who finishes and 5 years down the line is still searching for a job that will pay 50,000? Have you got anything?
No, I'm lucky and very blessed to have a job that I will be moving on to. I was able to secure a job before graduating, actually. So I'll be working in Washington, D.C. at Politico, which is a media and policy analysis company. And I will be working in their business development and sales department, which for me works out perfectly because it's the intersection of business and political science and all the things that I wanted to do. So very, very happy to be where I am. Very grateful.
Okay, so yeah, education in the US, has it just been a classroom thing, or what were you just boxed into Holland, Michigan, where you did the undergraduate program? And in the case of Georgetown University, was it just within the university in Washington, D.C.? What can you share a little bit about what it is like going through education in those two institutions where you have studied?
No, during in my 4 years of studying in undergrad, I was actually only in Michigan for 3 of those years. I got to be off campus for an entire academic year. I went to Washington. I came to Washington, D.C. for 1 semester, and then I spent another semester in New York City. I also got to travel a lot, even while I was like in Michigan. I went to a bunch of different places, interacted in those ways. I went to like all over the country. Yeah. And then during my master's degree, I actually got to do like more international travel. I couldn't do as much international travel in undergrad because of COVID. But since in my master's, I went to Ireland, which was really fun. I got to do that as part of a program with my classmates. We got to work on a real life like business problem. And it was one of those things that was required for everyone to do before graduating, which just again speaks to the very practical nature of the American education system. They want you to go out there and solve actual problems, and I think that's the way it ought to be.
Finally, what do you think has given you the opportunity to get to where the stage you have attained now, the height you have attained? What was it like being able to get a full ride? Your education, your undergraduate program was completely, taken care of, tuition free, accommodation free, food free. What did it take from your own understanding for you to be able to accomplish that?
Well, I think obviously you need like the foundation of good grades, being able to work on your grades, studying as hard as possible, those things like it's not everything, but it is like a place that you have to hit in order to unlock a lot of other opportunities. But then just having like a really strong desire to go abroad, very open to learning, developing like critical thinking and writing skills. Writing especially, it's kind of one of those things that's like harder to teach in a classroom setting, but that really helps. But I think like general just interest in the world, reading, writing, expanding on one's curiosity, and like really good networking skills. Networking especially has been what's enabled me to do well in the United States and also even before coming here. Um, yeah.
Yeah, before getting to the US, what are some of the specifics that you think probably recommended you to the people who gave you the opportunity to come and study on full ride?
Um, I had worked on a couple of I had like a really built out like high school resume. I did like student government. I was head boy in primary school and secondary school. I worked on some like community service projects, did like fundraising for school projects. So just very involved in my community in general. I would say those are some of the things that really helped.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We go to the United Kingdom. If Mayoress is in the house, let's get the UK perspective from a student angle. Mayoress, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. So Mayoress, obviously this is summer now and you guys are going to get more cheerful. The weather is not as tasking as it used to be. But tell us, what has life been like in the last 1 year for you? I know you have been away for it's about 2 years now. You traveled out of the country. Well, can you share a little bit? What has yes, the last 2 years? Can you give us an idea? What has it been like? I remember that you had enrolled at University of Ilorin, where you enrolled to study mechanical engineering, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So can you start from there? Why did you have to move to the United Kingdom, leaving that opportunity to study mechanical engineering in Nigeria? And do you consider it a good decision looking back now?
I think it was a good decision because I feel like there are more resources and there are like stuff available to you that you can make use of. For example, we have the Blackboard with like all the resources that we're working with, but in Unilon, we didn't even have that. We're not sure exactly what is what the information. I think most of the information you hear are probably from people, and I would say the information was not really organized in terms, but here, like while I'm in university, we have like a Blackboard where you have like access to all the resources you need for the course. And you have like lecture recordings and you have all these things available to you to your disposal. I feel like there are a lot of resources to allow you and enable you to succeed here.
Okay. Is there any difference in terms of quality of teaching? If you compare your secondary school education as well as your the little time spent at University of Ilorin in terms of how your lecturers related with you, can you compare that to how your teachers in secondary school in Nigeria related, how related with you compared to how teachers related with you when you were doing your A-level program in the United Kingdom, and now you're in the university? What do you think makes the difference? How come people finish and they look like they are better skilled than those who schooled back home?
I feel like here there are like opportunities to ask questions and clarify your understanding. In Nigeria, it was more like some of my lecturers I didn't even know. I would say in Unilorin, maybe I knew a few, but I probably didn't know them that well. But here, you know your lecturers, you can clarify, oh, I didn't understand that. Can you explain that to me? Or like something like that. So I feel like here there are more opportunities to learn, and sometimes your lecturers talk about what they're currently working on or what they're doing in their field or like in their kind of. So it's like a very good learning opportunity to listen and learn from others to see, oh, that's quite interesting, or that's not what I want to do, or that's what I want to do, if you get what I mean.
All right. Thank you. So we go back to the US. Iguelua, if you're in the house, can we hear from you? Can you pick it up from where Mayra stopped? Where are you in the US and what are you doing?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ikmioluwa Akintola. I am at East Tennessee State University. I am studying media and communications with a concentration in advertising and public relations. I also have a double minor in criminal justice and digital marketing. So I'm glad to be here and part of this conversation.
Excellent. Every time I look at your cheek, something tells me you're eating a lot of pizza, but you always tell me it's not the case. Okay, so can you share a little with us? I know you have two younger ones in Nigeria, and you would obviously want them to join you. Why do you have that aspiration to want your younger ones to also get the opportunity to come and study in the US?
Okay. I strongly believe that catching children young is a very critical factor in their journey to success, especially with the state of Nigeria now. And for someone like me that has younger siblings, the more they stay in that environment that is making it really hard for them to succeed, the harder it is to draw them out of that mindset or mentality the older they grow. So I believe that if you catch them young, catch them when they're still passionate about the things that they love and start to hone those skills, develop those skills, see how they could use it to their advantage at an international level, because the system in Nigeria isn't working. Even in schools where it's like they're trying their best, they can only do their best with the resources they have, which is not much compared to an average education that someone would get here in the United States. So if it's possible to get your child out, give them good education, give them a life that will put them on the space to succeed at international levels, is going to be at a great benefit to them. And that's why I am so adamant on my younger siblings coming in immediately after they're done in secondary school.
Okay. How has it been for you so far in terms of the experience you have had in the last 2 years you have been in the US doing your undergraduate program? in terms of specifics? How do you account for the 2 years you have spent there? Is it just academics listening to your lecturers, or are there some other things you do? What does education look like for you in the US?
Education for me in the US right now is all-rounded, if I could say. Academic only takes so much part of my time, and maybe it's because of the person that I am, but I devote myself to other things. Like I am currently the public relations officer of my school speech and debate team. So we have a forensic team, which I have scholarship for to study in the United States at a very subsidized amount. So with that team, I go on speech competitions, debate competitions, and enable my school to place on those levels. So I'm advancing my communication skills, my critical thinking skills. How fast can I solve these problems that are given to me at a competition? So that alone helps me in a class setting. So thinking fast on my feet, having critical thinking skills, those things I would use in my field, because my field is a fast evolving field. We're going with the trends, going with how media is shaping the space of the world today. So bringing the things I learned from forensics and speech and debate competitions really helps me in my field. And for also being a student of media and communications, I need to have hands-on experience. So it's not just what I learned in the class. If I learn analytics in the class, I would not hone those skills without practicing it. So we're given an advantage, or we're given the opportunities to volunteer for a certain task, functions. We could join the media team in the school. But there's so much given to you and so much resources that you have, not just from your school, but from your community, that you could use to get hands-on experience with your educational system. So it's giving you leadership opportunities. It's giving you community service. It's allowing you to up your skills and get certain skills you might need in the years to come.
Excellent. We remain in the US. Goswell, if you're there, can you join us now and share a little bit of what the experience is like for you? In which part of the US are you, Goswell?
Hello, everyone. I'm Godswill. I'm currently at Hope College, which is located in Holland, Michigan.
And what kind of program are you going through? What are you focusing on in terms of studies?
Hope is a liberal arts college, and I'm majoring in physics and mathematics.
Wow, the physics that is so hard. They need you all over the world. And I know that the last WAEC exam that was written in Nigeria, when the result came, physics was where the students performed the poorest. And then you are happy to do physics. Are you truly happy to do physics, or somebody imposed it on you?
No, I'm happy to do physics. Like growing up, I've always liked math, and then I was introduced to physics, and it's just kind of an applied version of math where you like get to use the equations to analyze and understand the world around you. So it's pretty fun to me. I like it a lot.
Wow. And so far, has it been so good? Are you coping with your studies?
It has, yes. Like it's a difficult subject, of course, but if you put in the work and use a lot of the resources you have over here, it can be very like rewarding to go through the process. So yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. There are a lot of resources from professors to the books to like study groups and like help sessions. They give you a lot of resources to be able to do well in anything you want to like study.
Okay. So aside from studying physics, are there some other things that you are involved in, that maybe something like work or activities outside of university, setting, etc., that you think you are drawing experiences from?
Uh, yeah, like over during the course of the semester, I work as a math tutor, like helps me keep my math skills sharp, like, and also gives me a lot of knowledge and experience in like helping someone and like working through some problems with them. And I'm also doing undergraduate research, which is a very like important thing for me because going forward, I want to get a PhD in physics. So this gives me a lot of experience, like as a young person in the field, and like introduces me to the kind of skills I would need. And like outside of like work, there are a lot of fun things to get involved in. Like during the semester, there are a lot of sports you can play. I played soccer, like form a team and then go compete. It's a lot of fun. Uh, yeah.
Okay. And are there some other, I know you study in a white dominated university, probably the Black population there is about 3%. Do you in any way feel disadvantaged functioning within that kind of environment? Because many parents in Nigeria feel very worried about their children, if they get to the US, they will no longer, they will shoot them everywhere, and can they fit in? If the whites dominate the university space, will their children have the confidence to be able to compete well? Are you feeling disadvantaged in any way?
Uh, yeah, Hope is a very like white school. I think it's more than 90% of the population that is white. And like coming in, you can kind of feel intimidated, but in America, and especially like liberal arts colleges, they make it a very big deal to make sure everyone feels included. So there are a lot of like programs or communities that like make it easier for you to get adjusted to US life and living. Like there's PASA, it's a organization here at my college, the Pan-African Student Organization Association. It's like a community of like the African students where you can like get involved and like do connect to other Africans on campus, and that allows you to like form a community here that is about like Africans, but it also gives you like a good foundation to still have your culture while exploring the US culture and like get involved in whatever Americans do. And it's a really good like transition from coming from Africa to the United States. So there are a lot of opportunities to learn about the culture here and acclimatize.
Okay. I know you are on a general scholarship in your college called Hope Forward. Can you talk us through in about 30 seconds? What do you think worked for you? What enabled you to secure that scholarship? Because I know even though it's a relatively large university community, but not up to 40 of you are that privileged. What made you to become one of that, that small community who secured that scholarship? What worked for you?
Yeah, the Hope Forward Scholarship is a full tuition scholarship, and its goal is basically to like produce graduates who go into the world to like bring hope to other places where they see it to be hopeless. So having like a good vision of what you want to do after college and like how you want to impact the world is very important. And obviously good grades are also important because they want to know that you're actually capable of making change to an area. So having good grades, having a good vision of what you want to do, and yeah, just like knowing knowing how to adjust to different situations really well. Because Hope Forward Scholarship has a lot of people from all over the United States and all over the world. So they want you to be able to like be able to easily connect with people and like make good connections and be able to succeed in diverse areas. So yeah.
Okay. And what about back home before you left? What do you think enabled you to secure your scholarship, if you remember?
Uh, Definitely having good grades was a very important one, and knowing like what I wanted to study, like having a general idea of what I wanted to study before going abroad, or like knowing what I wanted to do with my education when I got it, and knowing who I wanted to help, what I wanted to go into, and different things I wanted to change from like learning what I wanted to learn.
Okay. I know Godswill. Godswill is actually Godswill Ogudoro, just like we also had Marvelous Ogudoro. Godswill is a very modest person. He finished in the top 1% of candidates in the world when he wrote SAT. So he's not given to blowing his trumpet. So that worked well for him, finishing at the top 1% of candidates in the world. And he also did physics as a subject in SAT, and he also scored 770 out of 808. He wrote both IELTS and TOEFL. IELTS that graduates write, sometimes with PhD, they struggle. Somebody recently who even has a master's degree in English language wrote IELTS and was scoring about 5.5. Marvelous Gospel wrote it when he just recently finished secondary school. I think at the age of 17, and he scored 8 over 9. So grades are important, and then you got involved in community service. You went out, worked together along with your colleagues who were in a particular class, the kind of thing we want to do for us. And those things worked. And I'm happy that you people are making the best use of the opportunities available to you. And sometimes parents in Nigeria worry about will their children remember home, and do you have the opportunity to talk with your parents from time to time, or America is America, so family doesn't matter? In one sentence, what's the response to that?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, some parents in Nigeria think that once their children get to America, they will forget home. Is that the case for you?
No, like I had a really good upbringing, and like once you have that, no matter where you go, I feel like you always remember where you're coming from and what you need to do. There are a lot of distractions, or like if you want to look for distractions, you can find them. Like they don't come to you, but if you know where you come from and have a really good foundation, then you're not going to like try to mess around. You know what you're there to do. You know the kind of education you're there to get, the kind of opportunity you have studying in a place like the United States. So it's a really big opportunity, and like try to be very serious about it. And that's been my experience so far.
All right. So Kaito, if you're in the house, can you join us from Air City? Are you there, Kaito?
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaito Chukwuka. I go to school in the University of Southern Mississippi, and I'm very blessed to be here in this meeting. Look forward to sharing my experience.
All right. What is your discipline? What are you specializing in?
Oh, I study polymer science and engineering. It's like a branch of materials engineering. So pretty much I'm enrolled in a research lab, and we focus on organic electronics. So to give you like context, like the Apple Watch, like biosensors, like things made out of plastics, but we're trying to make the plastics a little sustainable, a little recyclable, and to be biocompatible. Those type of like cutthroat research to shape the new world. That's pretty much what I do. My school is like an R1, like research one university, and I'm grateful I got the chance to enroll in a research lab even in my freshman year. And those are the things that like, makes the US education a little unique.
Okay, I know Kaito. You have a twin brother who is also in this house at this moment. The two of you were able to secure good scholarship to travel to the UK to the US at the same time. Is Otito in the house? If Otito is there, can you come in? What are you studying, and which city are you?
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing great. My name is Otito. I'm studying polymer science and engineering at the University of Southern Mississippi, just like my twin. Right now I'm in DC though, because my elder brother just graduated from Howard University, so we came down to celebrate him. But school-wise, um, like I said, I'm studying polymer science and engineering. We both work in the same research lab where we focus on the application of conducting polymers to flexible electronics such as bioelectronic devices and organic photovoltaics. And we also were able to secure an internship for the summer at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, where we'll be researching flexible wearable sensors for bio neuromorphic interfaces such as biosensing, especially as relating to brain sensing and neural interface.
That's it's just 2 years you have completed a undergraduate program and you're already sounding like a professor. Those concepts you are releasing. So you actually have opportunity now to do research at the great MIT, which is the world's best engineering firm. How do you feel about that opportunity and engineering university?
Well, I'm very grateful to God and for all the people He has placed in my life to support me and my brother. Because like when we started with you here, I kind of started understanding more the importance of community because we rise by lifting each other, and the MIT opportunity would never have been available to me if I wasn't present in a community space where information was shared. And but then going into MIT to research, which I'll be starting soon, I feel confident. I feel like the American education I've had at my school has prepared me, but I've learned different lessons. Like tenacity is very important here in America, and this is a society where tenacity gets rewarded. And when you search for things, you put in your best effort, you will be rewarded. I've had a couple friends too this summer get research internships at Johns Hopkins, Dartmouth, Cornell. So, and a lot of they're all Nigerians, and they were very tenacious, and we didn't give up. We kept applying. So if they taught me anything, is that America is a society that rewards constant effort, and opportunities are not very far if you stretch out your arm.
Yeah. Okay, it does look like you had a short stint at University of Lagos, both of you. Are you the ones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you compare your experience there, you pulled out and had to move to the US because you secured good scholarships. Do you have any regrets taking that decision? Could you have been what it is now if you stayed back in Unilag from what you experienced? And what's the difference?
Kaja, you can go.
I mean, I don't regret my decision at all. I mean, if I remember, well, we didn't go for too long. It was like a month in and before the strike, but the classes were so like the ratio teacher to student ratio was just too high. Like the classes were so filled up, I could barely hear my teacher speak, and I never felt that connection. But here we have this like one-on-one, like this very cordial, very very good relationship and everything with our teachers, pretty much meeting him after class and everything, and even have the opportunity to even like have teachers that are willing to, to enroll you into their research labs and all of that. I never had that opportunity there. Like, even though I was really curious then, but like no teacher was like the availability, of, teachers being able to like, communicate with you and everything was never there. So, I mean, this is a whole new experience to me compared to Unilog. Jose, you probably have something to add.
All right, Otito, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. I just want to double down on the fact that he said the accessibility to professors out here. Like, we all go to schools where you find professors that listed on Forbes 30 under 30 people who have published 150 research publications. My boss is NSF early career grant scholar. He went to Stanford and he worked for the woman that discovered electronic skin. But I walk into his office. We sent him an email within a very short span. He replied to us. We're already in his office. We're discussing, and he's putting us on work to do. Like, but at Unilag, even seeing my teacher was a huge problem. I remember like classes. The time is like 2 hours for a class. You just put 10 o'clock to 12:45, which doesn't really indicate when the class starts. It's like any time from now, and you don't know when the teacher's gonna come. And when he comes, you barely can even see him because there's so many people. Every concept is so difficult because basically you can't even hear what is being said. So over here, it's a whole different ball game. It's we're here. You get your money's worth. The school is meant for you. You're not enslaved to the school. School is a place where where you receive the help you need to take you to the next level, and I'm really enjoying it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So we end with Omeza. Anemako, if you're in the house, can you tell us where you joined us from?
I'm trying. Okay, yeah. So, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm joining from Georgia. I'm in Georgia currently, but I go to school at Fisk University in Nashville, where I'm studying computer science. So yeah, that's that's
Yeah,
for me right now.
yeah. Just like Kaito and Otito, it seems you also spent a little time at the University of Lagos. Why did you pull out and move to the US? Was it
Well, yeah.
and do you think it was the right decision? What have you seen as the difference between the two types of education?
Well, yeah. So I was in Unilag for about a semester because um I was still trying to process my visa and stuff like that. So yeah, I think one major difference is just like what Otito said, and Niketo, what they said is the teacher to student ratio. When I was in Unilag, it was very because I was in the department of faculty of engineering, so we were a lot. We were about 900 freshmen or first year students, and all of us had to like go into one 900 in the faculty of engineering, not the whole school. So all of us had to go into one lecture theater, and it was always just crowded and muddled. You can't even hear what the lecturer is saying. Students who just came to classes just to mark attendance and go because they weren't really learning anything. But compared to like where I am here, I think it's way better because like the student to teacher ratio is like 12 students to one teacher. I'm most of my classes, a big class for me were like 30 students. That's already big. 30 students is kind of a lot. But yeah, I think it's better because now I can relate to my teachers more. They even have office hours I can go to. I'm not just going to class to pass time or to mark my attendance. I'm going to learn in class. And I think it makes it better for you to learn mentally because yeah, sure that you're here for this thing exactly, not that you're going to just pass time. So I think that's one thing that really stands out.
Great. And then looking forward, what do you think the future holds, or how promising is the future that you can see?
Yeah, so yeah, so I'll take it from like my perspective, obviously. One thing I have learned here and I've developed here is my soft skills, which have really helped me in my career, in my studies, in my interviews, in many programs I attend. So I've learned how to communicate properly. I'm using my critical thinking skills, and I think as I'm moving forward, it just helps me to be more comfortable in the workspace. As someone that's studying computer science, we do a lot of project. So I have to be able to think on the spot, think with other people also, and where we're going to as a field now with the advancements in artificial intelligence, it just makes more room for us to learn more, to use those things more, because if we're going to be using it a lot, we can't take it away. It's a very big part of what we do now. But I think as I'm going on in my studies and everything, I'm just yeah, everything is just based on like the foundation I've already built in from when I was starting this program, because initially I wasn't really an outspoken person, but I think coming from like the tutelage of Dr. Peter, I learned how to be more outspoken, and I think it has helped me, and I know it is going to help me as I'm moving forward.
All right, great. So in the next 2 minutes, we'll give a few parents opportunity to ask one or two questions and we'll answer them. Interestingly, I've been privileged to have worked with virtually all these young people who have spoken today. And when global partners from around the world decided to put resources together to expose those in SS2 and SS3 to development experiences that will prepare them for good scholarships abroad. Virtually all of them are on scholarships to be able to do their education in the US and in the UK. So the essence of this briefing is to make it obvious that if you have a child who is bright, especially if they're doing well in maths, in other STEM subjects, and they have clear vision, they are purposeful in the things they are doing, and they are desirous of getting good quality education, that it's a possibility. You can get it almost for free. And having worked with young people over the years, I know that we have had a case where and depends on how clear you are in terms of your objectives and what you want in life. So these are possibilities, and we're going to give this more of these young people who are going to be, able to secure the opportunities we're going to give them beginning from August 5 to August 31. And we're bringing resource persons from around the world to make this happen. And if your child is bright, has done up to 75%, in terms of quality of grades, especially in the critical subjects, including English and maths. That child is welcome to compete. We have only 100 spaces. We'll open application on Monday for people to show interest in those opportunities, and it's going to happen on a rolling basis. So once we admit the 100 person, the window closes, so that we'll be able to maximize the capacity we have to help these young people to get the best in life. And the reason why we chose August is because by that time, children will be on holidays, especially those in SS2, and most of them would have also finished the WAEC conducted exam. If anyone is still writing the code by that time, the parents should let us know, and we'll find a way to accommodate the child. So don't let any child miss the opportunity to get this platform, which is a big springboard that takes the child to where the child can develop the gifts that God has given to him or her. So don't deny your children the opportunity to get this opportunity, to get this chance to get great education. And if you're a school owner, a school leader, a teacher, if you have children who are bright, get them to sign up, work with their parents, let them reach us within the next step. We will share information with respect to application processes on the platform by tomorrow morning. And so by Monday, between Monday and Friday of next week, we expect to have been done with the application process, so that all the people who have sent their transcript to us, if you haven't got your child's transcript, we give you till Monday, but application starts on Monday. If you are lucky and by Tuesday, the space is not filled up, the child can still be considered. And we'll also put a PDF document that gives the details of what the children were studying. So as you have heard this one say, for them to be able to go to the US and UK to have this kind of high quality experience, very rich experience, they did some certain things before they left Nigeria. They were prepared for the good quality scholarships they have received, and they were also prepared for the kind of experiences they are having. So that's what we want to give to the Nigerian child. And we prepare them for interviews when they go to secure their visa. Many people don't do well when they go for visa interview, and that's very problematic. So we want to solve all those problems for the Nigerian child who is going to have the opportunity to join us as from August 5 to August 31. It will be very intensive. The child must be healthy. The child has to come from home. They are not going to live in any hostel. So we expect parents to be very committed to supporting the child to get this experience that we are talking about. So that's how that will go. By tomorrow, if you are on the RASP platform, we are going to place a PDF document that explains truly how it works, as well as a form the child can fill to join the class. So the faster, the better. And the kind of experience they're going to have, because we're bringing resource persons from around the world. And these young people who are spoken today are also going to remain on the platform that we have created internationally, supporting them as role models, as mentors who will also help in the application process. But I will superintend that process along with my colleagues from other parts of the world. And so do not let your child miss the opportunity, especially now that Nigeria is hosting it. The next 4 editions will be held in Ghana, in Kenya, Nairobi, in Accra, Ghana, of course, in Kigali, in Rwanda, and the last place will be in Johannesburg in South Africa. I think that Nigerians are lucky to have it this year happen in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. So if you know that it's going to be more cost intensive for you sending them abroad, then make sure you don't miss this opportunity that you have now, where we are trying to make it as cost friendly as possible. Those details you find in a document we're going to send out, tomorrow on the platform. It's something that should cost as much as $20,000, but the children who qualify are going to have it with less than 3% of that kind of cost. So if there's any parent here who has any question before we close now, wrap up, you can raise up your hand and we'll give you the opportunity to ask us questions. Yeah. Yeah, Olabisi Olateru. Yes, we can listen to you.
Good evening, sir.
Thank
I'm
you.
Mrs. Olabisi Olateru, as you have just stated. I'm the proprietress of Crispy College, Ikorodu. I spoke to you twice, and I think you spoke about transcripts.
That's correct.
Yes, I want to know how to send the transcript because we were not aware. I discussed with you earlier, sir, that we got this information just this week, very late, and there might have been some information that had been sent to the platform before we joined in. How do we send the transcripts to you, and where do we send the transcripts to?
Okay, so we have a document we'll share on that platform where you are now, latest Monday morning, and we are lucky Monday will be a public holiday, so you have enough time to do it. So latest 10 a.m. on Monday, you have that document. It will tell you the procedures you need to follow to send that, but it's not a complicated procedure. You can send it as a WhatsApp message. You can also send it to an email address, which we'll share on the platform. So it's very simple. It's not complicated at all. We'll share it on the platform. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's fine.
And I believe one of our students will be one of the winners, or two of them will be winners of that award. I'm very confident.
Okay, let's be hopeful. They are competing with a lot of other strong children. But you sound like a woman who's doing a great job. So I wish your students well.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. All right. So if we have another parent, please do ask that question very quickly because we are wrapping up now. It's past 6 o'clock, and we have to release the people in the US. US people, their time is very precious. They have to make sure that every minute brings in some dollars, which they can convert. I know the way it works in Nigeria. As a student abroad, every time you want to spend money in a shop in England or in Norway, in Austria, you first convert it to Naira. I say, this 2 pounds is what 4,000 in Nigeria. I can't spend it. If I send it to my people back home, it will mean quite a lot. So, and that's how the thinking is done abroad. So, on that note, we're wishing every parent well. We're wishing the school owners and school leaders who would like their children to benefit from this opportunity well. We'll share the PDF document on the platform for parents who have already signed up. And please, it's not the regular Nigerian thing. I am not the regular Nigerian. I'm privileged to be the global director for this. I will want as many Nigerian children as possible to be among the people who will secure the opportunity to be on RASP, Rising African Scholars Program. And all of them, we're hoping we'll be able to get them into the US and UK and Canada by the fall, August of 2025. So any child who is doing well in SS in senior secondary 2 and senior secondary 3 now should make that application. We are also happy to consider those who probably finished secondary school in the last 1 year and they are waiting to resume in the university. They can also, compete so long as they are not more than about 18 years. Yeah, we'll give them the chance to compete. But our priority will be on those who are currently in SS2 who will start SS3 in September, and those who are writing the public exams, WAEC and NEC, in this season. Those are the people this opportunity is meant for. Okay, last question from Madam. Yes, please. Is Ms. Olatero raising up hand or it was a mistake? You can unmute if you want to ask any further question.
Okay. I've unmuted.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. My question is, how you said you'll prepare, the children will come to Ikeja between a particular period.
August 5 to August 31. They are studying Monday to Saturday every week, so it's intensive.
Okay. Where in Ikeja? It will be stated
all those details are in the document that we'll share. The PDF document we'll share on the platform later tomorrow. But it's an open space. If you have heard about Adeni Jones in Ikeja, it's 98, number 98. It's a number 98. Adeni Jones, you have Allen and you have Adeni Jones. Those are the two most popular streets in Ikeja. But Adeni Jones is quieter. It's an elitist environment. You don't have area boys in Adeni Jones. So that's why we chose it. So once they are in the premises, the owners of the premises we are using for this program are a federation of employers. They are called Chemical and Non-Metallic Products Employers Federation. It's owned by about 300 companies, including Dangote's, some of Dangote's subsidiaries. One of the halls we're using is actually named after Dangote. It's called Dangote Hall. So it's a facility that has standby generator, that has decent, spaces and chairs and tables and presentation equipment. So the kind of environment they will see when they go to America, when they go to UK, when they go to Canada, that has been duplicated in Adeni Jones, a very quiet environment. So they will study so by the time they finish and they get to the US, there will be no difference between, where they're moving from and where they're getting into in the US. That way, they will hit the ground running, and we hope that all of them will not just stop at getting a good first degree. They will progress up to PhD. My own child, I have two of my children were on this platform today. Both of them are on scholarships abroad, and one of them is a person studying physics and mathematics. Okay, so those are subjects that children find difficult, but with good foundation and collaborating with school owners like you, we can make these children find their feet. And of course, for schools, it's good advertisement for you. When your children go through this route to get to America and they're excellent there, you can do documentaries and share with other parents who are looking for good secondary schools their children can attend. So if you support them to win the scholarships and they do well in it, that would be a good recommendation for you. And that's why many schools are also competing for the space. All right.
Thank you very much. Are we going to one more, sir? One more, sir. I'm sorry. Yes. Can we have a recorded program of this on our platform, on RASP platform?
Okay. What purpose would that serve?
For the number one of my students is not around, and okay. I had sent a message. They didn't have light in their area for the past 3 days. And as such, I wouldn't want her to miss this opportunity. One of them is on the platform already, but the second one is not there.
All right, we'll consider that. Hopefully by tomorrow, since a very powerful woman like you has made that request, we won't turn it down. We'll put it on one of our platforms and share the link, which you can share with your top students. It's fine. We can do that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And thank you, everyone, all of you who joined us from the US and the UK. We're grateful to you. And as always, we know that you will be there to welcome these young people into those places where you are, so that they also get the privileges that you have had the opportunity to access. And please continue to support Nigerian children. Many of them are not very fortunate to study in spaces where they have all the resources they need to be able to have their gifts and potential manifest. And we know they are very good children, excellent children, very, powerful thinkers, at least potentially, but the resources don't seem to be there, especially in terms of career management service, which is what we're providing. And so as they send them to you, please welcome them and work with them to ensure that they get the best that the world offers. And all of you continue to look back to Nigeria. Nigeria currently is not doing very well. There's hunger in the land, and the electricity is not, looking at us with some high level of favor. You had Madam Mrs. Olateri tell us one of her students was supposed to make it, but electricity was something that prevented that. And we did say earlier that electricity, only 3 companies in America, Facebook, Microsoft, and Amazon use in 1 year is 2,500 times the entire electricity all of us in Nigeria consume in a whole year. That's a very shameful place to be. So we are dependent on people like you who are getting very good quality education in the US and the UK and Canada and some other parts of the advanced societies. We are dependent on you to please, as you get this good quality education, look back, use what you have got to help Nigeria get out of this place. One of the reasons why you people are also where you are is because I also traveled out. I went to the UK, studied at Cambridge University, at University of Reading. I went to Norway, went to Austria, went to Sweden, went to all over the place. But I didn't just stay back. I come to Nigeria. I also go abroad to do projects. But I think that all of us owe Nigeria a debt, not because Nigeria really has done quite a lot for us, but because we are fortunate to also come from a country that is potentially rich. And so it's development of our capacities, which we use to empower people around us and contribute to the development of Nigeria, that will make Nigeria claim its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. It remains a country that has a great chance. Let's help Nigeria to flourish. On that note, thank you very much for joining us. I wish you a very good evening for those of you in Nigeria, and for those of you in the US, and in the UK too, a very good evening. In the US, do enjoy your wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.